Hey, so we've all heard this narrative, and tell me if you haven't, but many of you have. Just wait a couple more months. Just wait till summer. That's when home prices are going to crash. You'll be able to get the deal of your dreams. You'll be able to buy real estate for pennies on the dollar. Well, the folks in Ohio have been waiting for that day for a long time. Some feel like it's been forever. And have prices crashed yet? Let me show you. Columbus, now at $364,000 for the median home price. Want to see more? Cleveland, now at $266,000, another all-time high. Cincinnati, where are they? $316,000 for a median home price. All-time high record. I got more. How about Toledo? Can I move there? Nope. $227,000, by far an all-time high record. Insane home price. I got more, folks. Here we go. Another one. Akron, Ohio. $248,000. Not an all-time high, but dang close to it. I got another one. I'm thinking maybe I'll move to Dayton. $258,000. Another all-time record high. So if you're in Ohio and you're waiting for this huge housing market crash, unless you've been living under a rock, you'd know that hasn't happened yet. It is true that we have more inventory than we did last year. In some areas, we actually have more homes for sale than we have over the last 9 years. Let that sink in for a second. If you go back 9 years in Franklin County, Ohio, we now have more homes for sale than we did in the past 9 years. To me, and just logically speaking from a real estate end, that should equal lower home prices. So why are home prices continuing to go up in the Buckeye State? That's what we're going to try and figure out today on the Ohio Housing Nerd. Thanks for joining me. This is my weekly Redfin Live update, and you in Ohio are a priority for me. That's why I skipped a national update this morning, went right into Ohio. I thought it warranted paying attention to it because of these insane prices. And the other thing I just want to mention, thank you for the support on this channel. I started this channel like 30 days ago, 45 days ago, and the growth on this channel has exceeded the growth on my main channel. Who knows? Maybe I'll be only the Ohio Housing Nerd at some point, but thank you for your support. Let's get rolling. And chime in. Let me know what market you want me to look at, what housing area. I'm going to do metros. I'm going to do counties. We're going to look at inventory, new listings, prices, all the above. So if you have a question about Ohio's housing market, please let me know. My name is Jason Ferrier, by the way. I've been a realtor and investor here in the Central Ohio market for the last going on 8 years now. So yeah, let's see. TH2, good morning. What's up? Thanks for joining us, man. Pickaway in Licking County. All right. Well, look, let me let's do this. Let me buzz through the major cities, then I'm going to jump back into your request. So I got Pickaway and Licking, no problem. Those are great counties to look at. Let me jump into Columbus first. All right. So, and this is linked in my description below. You can go to the Redfin Market Data Center and look at really any county in the U.S., about any metro in the U.S. And this is what we're looking at. I just want to explain the data because it's important to understand what you're looking at. Oops. Well, you were looking at something until this reset. Sometimes that happens on here. So this is the 4 weeks. This measures a 4-week window. So it measures basically 1 month of data. And so when it moves 1 notch, that's 4 weeks. So that's how that works. It's not 1 week. It's more like 4 weeks. So this is measuring a 4-week trend versus a 4-week trend year over year. And so, for instance, median sale price in Columbus, $364,000. Now, good news is, I guess, it was $364 last week, and $365 back from late May to late June. So it's gone down a whole $1,000, but it's still up year over year. I mean, it is what it is, folks. This is just, it's maddening for some people, but we're going to dive into like the details behind the pricing to really look at what's happening. So this is the new listings, basically. And now a new listing is when a home hits the market, right? So theoretically, new listings should be going up right now still if there was a massive amount of distress in the market, meaning if sellers and homeowners were like, I can't afford these prices to keep my home, I got to sell, or there's a ton of economic job loss, I got to sell, or student loans are unhinged, or credit cards are unhinged, or auto loans are unhinged, whatever you want to call it, whatever stress you want to call it in the economy that you see all this doom on the internet about, and obviously there's plenty of doom, you would see it in the new listings. Somebody's going to list their home for sale. They just are. Like if they can't afford their home, they're going to list it. And they're not going to list it in a shadow market like some people want to believe or tell you on YouTube. They're not going to hide the listing. If they got to sell, they got to sell. What we're seeing in a lot of areas, and now we're seeing it in Columbus, new listings are starting to falter. They're starting to drop in some areas. In fact, nationally, we're down in new listings in the housing market year over year. Down, not up, down. We're down in new listings. I'll say it again. That means that there aren't a ton of sellers, as many as a lot of people want to believe, that have to sell their home. Because of that, most good homes are staying off the market. So like in Columbus, we're only up 1.4% right now, year over year in new listings. That's it. That's it. You got to have more new listings. You got to have inventory to cause a housing market price correction. It's got to. Active listings, now those are up nearly 20%, which is good, but they're not really, they've kind of leveled off over the past month. They're not skyrocketing anymore. And my guess is a lot of these listings in Columbus are not good. Like they're homes that need a ton of work. They're homes that are overpriced. They're $1 million homes, right? Like they're probably homes in Dublin that are, not 1.1, $1.5 million. Well, those aren't for everyday people. But if you see a home that's 300 grand and it's in a good area and it's decent condition and it's priced right, gone, and it moves. So people are paying these prices. They are. So anyway, active listings up 20%. Now let's get to homes sold. This is new. Redfin just started putting this on the weekly data, but check this out. Homes sold up 6% in Columbus. The number of homes that we've sold, if you measure 4 weeks, the last 4 weeks compared to last year, we're up 6%. People are buying homes at these prices. They are. As a realtor and investor, I can tell you people are buying homes. I'm going to show you an off-market deal today that I went and looked at. My contractor did. And you're going to, I can't cuss, but you're going to freak out when you see the price the people are paying for these beat up homes. It's crazy. It doesn't pencil at all. Not even close. You can see I'm excited today or just amped up because it's like, what in the world's going on? So you've got homes sold up. You've got inventory up. Question is it good listings? And then we already know about the median sale price. Median sale price, look at this, 3% up year over year. I mean, and it's not even close. Like if you look at this graph, it's disappointing, right? I would think that they are level, I guess now, but they're still going up overall. So that's Columbus. But I really want to know what's happening in your neck of the woods. And if you want to see a particular market. So let me go to Cleveland real quick. This is Cleveland. I can go back and do Cuyahoga County if you want me to, no problem. But look at this. Oops. Man, Redfin always does this to me. Look at this. 364. Oops, that's Columbus. Sorry. Calm down, Jason. Look at this line straight up at Cleveland. $266,000. All-time record high by far. Up 11, I'll say it again, 11% year over year. That's like That is that's COVID level price increases. It's not slowing down. It's not slowing down. New listings, what are those doing in Cleveland? Look at this. Down. Now, we did have July 4th last week, right? But this is a 4-week average. So if you're looking at the last 4 weeks, like, you would think if there was distress, if investors had to sell their properties and they flood the market with listings, you'd see it in the new listings. We're just not. I mean, look at 2022. We had a lot more new listings than this time. Let's look at homes sold in Cleveland. Homes sold up 2.2%. So there's 2.2% more people buying homes, more transactions than last year in Cleveland. I mean, new listings are up 8.9%, though, going back to that. So we are adding more new listings, which is good, but just not enough, and probably not enough good homes. Look at this. Active inventory only up 10% year over year. Only 10%. Again, we're supposed to see, a bunch of distress in the market. Not here. At least not in Ohio yet. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, let me go to the next metro here. This is probably going to kick me out again, like it did the last metro. But here's Cincinnati. 316. Another record high, up 6.8 if you want to round up, but who does on a price like that? 6.86% to be exact. New listings, what are those doing? Whoops. I'll come back to Pickaway and Licking in a second. Cincinnati, new listings up 3.3% year over year. That's it. That's it. And I don't care if it's a holiday or not. If you have to sell your home, like you're in distress. I didn't own a home during the GFC, during 2008, 2009, 10, 11. I didn't own a home then. But if I had owned a home and I had to sell, I would sell. I don't care if it's July 4th or not. Realtors don't take days off. I work on Christmas sometimes, work on Thanksgiving, work on Easter, work on July 4th. Like, there's no excuse. In other words, the narrative that, well, it was a holiday, so people aren't going to list their homes. It's like, no, if they're in distress, they're listing. Homes sold, what are those doing? Up 12.6% in Cincinnati. 12%. I don't know if you're going to hear anybody else on YouTube or the media, certainly not on Facebook, right? I mean, the realtors on Facebook are like, hey, buy now. Buy now. It's a great time to buy. But home sales are up 12.6% in Cincinnati in the last 4 weeks compared to last year. Strange, right? Very strange. Let's look at active listings. I don't think we looked at that in Cincinnati. Look at active listings, up 13.96, call it 14% year over year. Again, it's starting to kind of level off. If home sales, if homes sold increase, but new listings are not exploding, you're going to see inventory falter. You're just going to see that. Let's go to the next metro here. Toledo. I mean, I'm trying to pick an area to go to in Ohio to do some boots on the ground work, like to try to really look at what's happening in the local housing market. And I thought, well, I'll go to an area where prices are unhinged. Unfortunately, that's every area. So, I'm going to have to travel around like on a tour bus, like a rock star, without the money and fame. Median sale price in Toledo, $227, up 6% year over year. Hello? I don't know. I'm speechless. It's just keeps going. There's just no relief in sight. No relief. All right, let's do new listings in Toledo. What are those? Look at this new listings in Toledo. Oh, my goodness. Down 9.5%. 9.5% down. Again, ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. That's crazy. So we have nearly 10% fewer homes hitting the market right now in Toledo versus last year. Again, distress. Where are you? Can't find you. active listings. Look at this. It's like, woo, time to go down like a roller coaster. Only up 8% year over year in active listings. So while you do have more homes for sale in Ohio, and if you look at a year over year basis for the state, we're probably up like 30%, I'm guessing. It's just must not be the right homes, because they must be removing them from the market, or people are buying up the homes that are hitting the market. It's nuts. So that's active listings. And then we already looked at median sale price, but that's really depressing. Okay, let's go back to another metro here. Next, Akron. Median sale price, $248. Now, that's not a record high. We hit, well, yeah, I guess it is. My fault. It is a record high, $248. Last year, we hit $247 in Akron, up 6%. So Columbus is only up like 3%, right? But then you got Cleveland, Cincinnati, Toledo, Akron. All these are up 6%, nearly, some of them up double digits in pricing year over year. Crazy. New listings. What's going on in Akron with new listings? Only up 4.8%. Again, it's nice to have more new listings, but like the year before that, you had like, what, 200? And this year you've got 209. So you got 9 more homes that hit the market versus last year. That's not going to work. And by the way, obviously real estate is hyper local. So many of these areas could be very well, or many, pockets like neighborhoods, certain ends of town, certain areas of the county, certain counties themselves could be experiencing different housing markets than this in Ohio. But this is like a general look at these metros. And by the way, drop it in the comments if you want me to look at your metro or your county in Ohio, and I'm happy to do it. All right. Let's look at, do we look at active listings already? Active listings, 14% up year over year. So just like the other areas of Ohio, more active listings. But you got to remember, we came from the doldrums of active listings in the last few years. So the fact that we're up 14% may not help that much, because when you look at the amount of homes for sale, that's 1,300 last year. Now we've got 1,400. So you call it 183 homes. That's the difference. Is that a lot? I mean, it depends on what they look like, right? I mean, I just looked at a package of homes in Newark, Ohio, that was like 14 homes off market, and they were all like, the guy wanted 180,000 per home, and they're all built 1920, 1930. So those homes, if those homes had hit the market, I mean, that's a bunch of 10 new listings, but none of them make any sense, really. All overpriced. I'm sure you've seen that too. Okay, next metro. Let me look at one more before I get to the request. Dayton. Look at Dayton. Record high home price. Like, not even close. I mean, last year we were down here. Up 6%, $258,000 new listings in Dayton. What do you got for me in new listings? Up 12%. Homes sold. Up 2.9%. People are buying homes right now in Ohio. Active listings. Those continue to go up. They're up 13, call it 14%. But again, they must be like, I mean, maybe they are investors that have to unload their homes. Maybe they are. They're just not priced right, maybe. That could be the fact. I have looked at deals in Dayton recently, and they didn't make any sense either, or they were just homes that needed so much work that you're like, man, you got to dump 6 figures into the place to get it up to speed. Just not worth it as far as the return on investment. So anyway, that's kind of a round trip of Ohio from the major metro standpoint. All right, let me look at some chats real quick, and then we'll jump into the request. Okay, I've got Licking and Pickaway requested. Hey, Michaela, how are you? Housing nerd and stairmaster time. Yeah, you told me that before. I mean, I'm humbled. I am. I'm humbled that somebody would be on a stairmaster watching me, watching the Ohio housing nerd. Um, but thank you for the support, Michaela. Thank you. Hello from Canton. What's up, Ben? Oh, we got to do Canton, right? So let me flag Canton. Home values doubled in 8 years in my hood. Can't believe what a 1,000 square foot home just sold for behind me. This is Canton in capital letters. Right, right, right. Agreed. I mean, it's not just Canton though, Ben. Like it's everywhere. Um, I'm spending a good amount of time right now at Buckeye Lake, not because I mean I don't own anything out there. I don't own a boat. I'm just not a boat person, but I'm helping some people buy a home out there in Buckeye Lake, maybe one listing coming up. And you have to kind of pinch yourself sometimes and go, I can't believe this house is $1.8 million and I'm standing in Buckeye Lake, Ohio. Like if I go 5 minutes that way, there's a cornfield. If I go 5 minutes that way, there's a farm. If I go 10 minutes this way, it's Newark, Ohio. And this is $1.8 million. What? Yeah. Geeks of Rage. Is there any ways to see of those homes sold what the prices were on those homes? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let me make a note. Yeah, that's a great question, Geeks of Rage. So it's a matter of just diving into the details on the MLS, or you could even use Redfin or Zillow, honestly, but you just have to kind of peck around and hunt. How about this? Coming up maybe next week, I'll do a live that's only about it. I won't look at all these different metros and counties because the live would be way too long if I dove into the prices. But I'll dive into the prices for you, and I think it'd be beneficial. It's a great idea. And we'll actually look. I'll use the MLS. I'll go in and look at some of these central Ohio markets. I'll use Redfin, and we'll actually dive into that. Yeah, great suggestion. Wooster, Ohio. Give us an update. Houses that used to sell for 250 are 400K now. No end in sight. I agree. I agree with you. Even as a realtor, like a lot of people are like, oh, realtors want prices to go up. I don't. I mean, an investor. I have homes, that, assets that you want duplexes to go up. I own apartment buildings and stuff. I want those prices to go up, I guess, but not really. I'd rather them just be stable. I mean, even if there was some deflation, it'd be okay. They got to come back to reality for people. Would you say it's mainly the buyer's fault for continuing to pay these ridiculous prices? I think that's just the consumer. I think Geeks of Rage, it's the consumer out there. Consumers buy on payment. I hate to say that, but they do. And if payments make sense, people will buy. Not saying that's how you should buy, but that's just the brutal facts. But most people who are selling their property, whether they're selling a Xbox on eBay or a house, want to get the most they can for it. I don't run into many sellers that are like, you know what? The market's up here. I'm going to sell down here just to be nice. Nobody says that. They want them as much as they can get. And then if there's somebody willing to pay it, they are. But interest rates have come down slightly over the past like 2 months or so, I guess, underneath 7%. Maybe that's why. Heaven forbid interest rates drop into like the low sixes or have a 5 handle. Then we're really going to be in trouble. And by the way, that's the number one push from the administration right now in the White House, are lower interest rates. So watch for that. None of it does. That's what's wild. Yeah. Thank you for valuable information. You're welcome, John. Thanks for watching. Always. You're a great supporter. Holland, Ohio. Okay, I got Holland. I got Wooster. I got those. What else we got? Steve Matson. What's up, Steve? I don't understand why Columbus housing is so high while all other areas, county, are bombing. Huh. I don't know. Let's look at the counties around it. We'll do that. We'll look at some counties around Columbus and see. Was planning on buying a house this year, but decided to wait another year. Bought my last condo for 885 years ago. It's been sold twice already since we sold it. The last sale was for 350. Yeah. Yep. I don't doubt it. I would hate to see the price on that home on the island of Buckeye Lake now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the house is out there and they're moving. people are buying those homes out there. And a lot of them are over $1 million. And they're nice homes. Like in the inside, they're all redone, high-end finishes, well-designed. But it's Buckeye Lake, Ohio. You know, that's what can't compute in my brain. If you grew up here, you're like, what? I remember getting stuck in the mud out there. You'd be like, you know, on somebody's boat, you jump off and your feet like sink in the mud. The houses around Columbus, specifically Hilliard, are priced way higher than they're worth. Well, I mean, it's worth what someone's willing to pay, right? And right now, people are willing to pay these prices. Otherwise, sales would be in the tank, and or prices would be much lower because sellers would have to discount the prices to sell them. But somebody's paying these prices. No inventory. In some areas, what's up, Zane? In some areas, yeah. In some areas, there are more homes for sale, but just not the right ones, right? Okay, Hilliard. You want to know Hilliard? I don't know. Let me try to get Hilliard info. Okay, so I got some ones to go after here. Let's see. Let me do Pickaway and Licking first. So on the Redfin Data Center, you can do Pickaway and you can do county or metro. So here's median sale price in, well, let me do new listings first in Pickaway County. New listings in Pickaway County down 8.2%. Man. That just means that there's just not a lot of people that want to sell their home. Now, a big reason for that is they don't want to because there's nowhere to go. Like they can't, like why sell your home right now if you're in a 3% interest rate and you bought it 7 years ago, 10 years ago? Like if you either have to sell, if you sell, it's because you have to probably, right? Or you just want a nicer home and you're willing to pay it because the prices are unhinged. So it's hard to figure out where you're going to go next. And rent's high. I know that as a landlord, I know rent's high. And if you want like an A-class place to live, like brand new apartment, nice single family house, it's probably going to be more than your mortgage. So people just don't have motivation to move. Wow. Down that much, down 8.2%. Unreal. Okay, here's active listings. Look at this in Pickaway County, down 0.82%. So there are fewer homes on the market right now in Pickaway County versus last year. I mean, real estate is definitely hyper-local because you hear this narrative of people throughout the United States talking about how, I'm not going to name any names, but like how there's tons of distress in the market, forced selling, doom, prices are crashing, landlords are done, Airbnb's in trouble. And then you kind of look at Pickaway County and you go, that's weird. Kind of different, I guess. Must be on another planet. Median sale price up 2%, $328,000. What about homes sold? What are those doing? Look at homes sold down 8.8%. So people aren't buying as much as they were last year, but people aren't listing homes either. But the prices haven't come down there. Kind of a stuck market. It's like that in a lot of other areas too. But it's a 4-year low of homes sold. Okay, that was Pickaway County. Let's do Licking County. Now, Licking County, I live in Licking County, and it's home of the Intel plant. I just did a video on Johnstown, Ohio, and I just reviewed the first draft for my editor. I'm going to put that out here in a couple days once we're all done with it. But property taxes specifically in Johnstown have gone off the charts. And you can literally see when someone sells or someone gets a tax increase bill and then the house is for sale like a year later. They're like, well, I'm out of here. Good job, Johnstown. Well, it's really not Johnstown's fault. It's more like Intel's fault, I guess. Or the way they assess homes, or just the whole property tax system. New listings in Licking County. Look at this. Unbelievable. Down 5.6%. I mean, they have been trending up since the beginning of the year. Like if I remove 22 and 23, they have been trending up, new listings. But now they're kind of starting to go sideways. Let's do active listings and see what's going on with Licking County. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Active listings definitely rising, up 14.29%. But how many homes is that? 577 to 660. So 90 homes off the top of my head, something like that. 90 homes or so. 82 homes, 83 homes. More than last year, which in Licking County isn't a small number necessarily. Let's look at homes sold. How are they doing? Homes sold in Licking County, up 2%. More people buying homes than last year. I listed a home recently in Newark. This was like a month ago, 2 months ago, and it was a 3-bed, 1-bath ranch priced right over $200,000. It had multiple offers and went over asking. And it was a 3-bed, 1-bath renovated home in Newark in a good neighborhood. And that is what we're seeing. Those homes are moving fast. I mean, we had it in contract within 4 or 5 days. Had cash offers, ended up going FHA, which was good. It's nice to, I think, sell a property to an FHA buyer who, it's not an investor. They want a home to live in. So people are buying homes. All right, median sale price. Dun dun dun. 342, up 7%. Can't believe it. I remember when Licking County hit 300, back years ago. And I was like, I can't believe it's 300 grand here now for the median price. Now 342. Unreal. Unbelievable in Licking County. All right. So that was Licking County. What's next? I should put it on the screen. Hello from Canton. Let's do Canton. Oh, by the way, hit the thumbs up. If you're watching this, don't be a freeloader. You got to hit the thumbs up. Got to. That's all I ask. Canton. What do we got in Canton? Oh, I don't want to look at that yet. New listings in Canton. Where are we? Where are we? Up 10%, 11%, call it, in new listings. Let's do active listings. Active listings only up 4.45% in Canton. That's not very helpful. That's not going to help us very much. Goodness gracious. All right, that's active. What is... Let's do... I'll do home sold. Look at this. Down a lot. Wow. Home sold in Canton, Ohio, down 17%. So new listings are up, right? All these metros run into each other. New listings are up 10.8% in Canton. So that's good. But active listings are only up 4.45%, and sold listings are down 17%. So you've got more new listings. You've got fewer people actually buying homes in Canton. You would think at some point active listings would go up more than 4%. There's another factor here, though, we got to think about. Because I wrote down before the live, why are home prices still going up? I mean, what's really going on here? Well, another thing could be we have a record number in the U.S. of delisted homes that are on the market and then removed from the market. So that's usually somebody with wish pricing, somebody who puts a price on it that's too high, and they know it's too high, and they're just trying to test the water. And because they're testing the water, they don't sell the home, and then they put it back, on the shelf and go, I'm not going to sell it now. And then maybe next year they'll put it back on the market. But they don't need to sell. They want to sell. Or they would sell if the price was insane. but they don't need to sell yet. And so I think we're seeing that as well. People just taking homes off the market. The delisted homes, I think, are like upwards of something like 30% nationally. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I read a couple days ago. I think on Housing Wire. So it could be that. Could be delisted homes. That's why you're not seeing active listings go up that much in Canton. Okay. Median sale price. Well, that's new listing median sale price. Median sale price, what do we got? $235,000, up 7%, an all-time high for Canton, Ohio. Whatever. Goodness gracious. Well, if you're a home seller in these markets, it's great news for you. As long as your home is priced correctly and it's in good shape, you should do well. No reason why you can't. All right. What is next? We did that one. Wooster, give us an update. Yes, no problem. We may have to do the county here. How many? Let's see what this looks like. Well, I'll do Wooster for you, and then if you want me to look at the county, just put it in the comments. Hopefully I see it. New listings in Wooster, Ohio, up 23% year over year. A lot more new listings, and they've gone up. I mean, that trend has gone up and up and up and up and up. So you do have more homes hitting the market. You have more homes for sale. You're up 34% in active listings in Wooster. So more homes on the market. That's good. Now, let's look at homes sold. Homes sold down 6.8%. Geez, a lot more new listings, a lot fewer homes sold. That would translate into more active listings normally, unless people are taking them off the market, which is very possible. But you got to think at some point that's going to increase active listings. What's median sale price doing? Well, you're not at an all-time high, thank goodness. 260 grand, up 3.4%, though. You are up year over year in prices. It looks like the all-time high was last year, 271. Late last year, October of last year. You started this year, by the way, at 213. Now 260. Again, you just hear people talk about just wait another year and home prices will fall. Just wait another month. This summer is when you're going to see lower home prices. And you're like, okay, but like you got to look at the dynamics of it. It's not trending that way. It's just not. I mean, a few thousand here and there may go down. So what? If you're hoping for like 50% declines, I don't know. Ohio went down 13% during the GFC. Like if you look at or it was Columbus, went down 13% in 5 years. Didn't go down 50, went down 13. That's not really a crash, right? So if you want 50% declines, man, that may be a struggle. You may have to go out to like Riverside County, California, or Austin, Texas to see that this time. All right. Thanks for the suggestion on Wooster. Wow. Houses that used to sell for $250 are $400,000 now. No end in sight. Yeah, I agree. All right. Holland, Ohio. Okay. Take a look at Holland. Holland, Ohio. I don't know. That's probably too small of a metro. So the question is where. Let me just look at this. I'm not familiar with Holland. Let me just look it up. Oh, Lucas County, huh? Springfield Township, Lucas County. It's a suburb of Toledo. Well, I did Toledo earlier, but let me go ahead and do Lucas County. Because I don't think I have, I'm not going to have details for just Holland in this data. By the way, if you have a very small area, which is what you should be looking at if you want to find a house and really understand what's happening, or if you want to sell, if you want to understand what's happening in your local market, you need to go really local. You're going to have to probably work with a realtor like me, but for that area you want to buy in, because I only have access to very detailed information, like down to a Holland level, township, subdivision level in central Ohio and the counties. I don't have it for Toledo. or Lucas County. New listings in Lucas County down 8.8%. So fewer homes on the market in Lucas County, which is where Holland is. That's Toledo too, but we're looking at the county level now. And then active listings up 7.85%. So not really impressive there. How about homes sold? Homes sold up 18% in the county. That may be why active listings are going down like this, right? You hit a peak right here at 1,200 active listings. Now you're at 1,165 active listings. So you're losing inventory. That's not what you want to see. Here's the other thing. I've been looking at this nationally too. If you look at this graph and look at how the active listings are dropping right now, and you look at the other years, like look at last year. Like let me take away 2022 and 2023 and look at the difference in these two graphs for a second. And this is just an example in Lucas County, right? I'm seeing this nationally too, by the way. There's a curve there happening really early in the year of active listings falling. And I don't hear anybody talking about this in YouTube. Even Lance Lambert at Resi Club Analytics hasn't mentioned this yet, which shocks me because he's kind of on top of the housing market. But like active listings are falling right now. Last year, they continued to go up. Now they fall in the winter, but that happens in the winter. People don't list as many homes. That's just the way it is. But there's only really a few reasons why this would be happening. One, there aren't a lot of people listing homes for sale. So let's look at that. Right? So we know active listings now 1,165. If we look at new listings now, what's that? Yeah, new listings down 8.8%. So you'd have fewer people listing their home for sale. And then you've got homes sold, you're up 18% versus last year. So no wonder active listings are falling now. There aren't enough people putting their homes on the market, and there are more people buying homes. So the active listings fall. Then you've got delisted homes, people taking their homes off the market to count, to put into play. Expired listings. It just shocks me. Like you would think this line would keep going up and up over last year. But now it's like, nope, headed straight down. What's the median sale price? Yeah, look at this in Lucas County. Up 10%. $205,000 is the median, the house in the middle that sold. So that kind of gives you an idea maybe what's happening. And then, like I said, I see it in the national numbers too. I hope that helped. Holland, Ohio. I don't understand why Columbus housing is so high while all other areas around are bombing. Hey, Steve, I was going to look at this. Just tell me what you mean, like bombing. And any area in particular that you're looking at? Because I'd like to see it. Licking County so far isn't, and they're kind of around Ohio or around Columbus. Oh, you said Hilliard. Look at this, Hilliard. All right, let me see if I can do this. All right, I'm going to look at my MLS now instead. And let's just look at Hilliard and see what's going on. Let me do Hilliard schools. I'll do Hilliard School District. So this looks different because this is from my MLS. So let's look at it's not as graphic. It doesn't have as many graphs on it, right? But median sale price. Okay, so right now, median sale price is down 5.97% in Hilliard, $409,950. So you're right, prices are down in Hilliard, no doubt. I mean, year over year, they're down. And look at this. I guess year to date, they're up 3.22% right here. So they are up year to date, but if you look at June compared to June of last year, they're down 6%. Look at the median days on market, though. How long homes take to sell there? 4 days. Or they're going to contract. So they're only on the market 4 days, median combined days on market before they go into contract. That's not a lot of days. Average is only 13, and it's down from last year. So homes are selling quicker than they were last year. Let's look at where the inventory is. This is why the MLS is awesome for this data. So look at this. Sold listings. How many sold listings in Hilliard? I just want to make sure I have the right info up here. Yeah, Hilliard City Schools. That's what we're looking at. 148 transactions closed this year so far. Last year, 120. Difference, 23% up in closed transactions. I'm sorry, that was for the month. Year to date, we're actually down 0.8%. But that last month, this is for June data, by the way, we were up 23% in Hilliard in closed transactions. So Hilliard's like, the people are buying homes. Let's look at active listings. This is the good stuff here. So inventory is up 26% in June, or right now it was up 26% in June, 27%, 162 homes compared to 128. However, this is what is happening. Check this out. Look at the $500,000 plus mark. Bear with me. Look at this $500,000 plus mark. So homes over $500,000 this year, or this June, just last month, you had 66 homes sell over 500 grand. Let that sink in. Over 500 grand, 66 homes sold. Last year at this time, 39 homes over 500 grand. The difference, 69. I'm sorry, this is active listings. My bad. Homes on the market, 66. Last year, 39. That's a difference of 70%. So $500,000 plus homes, there's 70% more inventory right now versus last year. 400 to 499, 25% more homes on the market. 300 to $399,000 homes, down 2.4%, and so on. So like all the inventory, or most of it, is stacked at the 500,000. I guess there's more in the 400,000 to 499, but this mark right here is where all the inventory is. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to look at what is actually for sale, right? I mean, that's way above the median price. What about new listings? New listings, you're down total in June. Down 9.5% in June for new listings hitting the market. And it looks like all the new listings are, or most of them are at the 300. Oh, I'm sorry. 50 compared to 43 year over year. So you got 7 more new listings over 500 grand that hit the market. You did have on the 200 to 249, you had a few more new listings hit the market too. But active wise, it's like all over that $500,000 mark. I mean, year to date, you're up. Look at that. Year to date, you're up 21% in active listings over $500,000 in Hilliard. Nuts. Anyway, I hope that helped. Looks like not a lot of inexpensive homes, a lot of expensive homes for sale, but the median sale price is down. So hopefully that helps you. What else we got? Hilliard. Locals act like Buckeye Lake is the Ritz. Pretty sad. Well, yeah, Michaela, like, it just depends on what you want, right? It's a good community out there. I'm not going to deny that. And the homes are nice. And if you want to stay close to Central Ohio, I mean, I guess you could buy a house in Florida, but then you have to, if you want like waterfront, I guess you could go up north. But a lot of people are like, hey, this is here. This is what we have. Let's make the most of it. And they're planning massive development out there. I have a meeting with a developer later today, and they're planning massive developments out there at the lake. They're not stopping, that's for sure. Has there been any news by any chance on the foreclosure rate has increased above what the normal rate has been since these prices increase have been happening? Well, the problem with foreclosures has been they've been artificially suppressed because there's a foreclosure moratorium, or not really. Well, there was a foreclosure moratorium, but there's a program in place where you don't have to pay your mortgage. Basically, the government will make the payments for you, and then they put the payments you owe them that you missed on the back end of the loan. People have been taking advantage of that now for years. That's ending in October. So it's really hard to gauge the foreclosures right now and if they're normal. They have been increasing. Foreclosure numbers are increasing nationally overall, but they're not even really at pre-pandemic levels yet. So I'm not sure we'll see a lot of foreclosures out there anytime soon. In Ohio anyway, because people will buy them, I think. However, there are foreclosures, there are sheriff auctions. The one that I sold recently in Newark, that wasn't my property. I listed it for a client who bought it at an auction. So yeah, that does exist out there, and it's not a bad way to buy a property. You just got to go in with the right understanding of what's happening. With Hilliard, taxes being one of the highest in the state, the market price is so high, buying now isn't worth it. If interest rates drop, anyone buying now will be trapped for at least a decade. Maybe, yeah. Or prices could go up more. What if they eliminate property taxes? I mean, there's a big movement. I've done videos on my other channel, The Housing Nerd, about that. If they eliminate property taxes, I would think home prices go up higher because people will be able to afford more home. People buy on payment, right? Overall, as a consumer, that's why buy now, paid later. That's why car debt is so crazy, because people walk into a dealership and say, give me a house, or give me a car. I want to spend $500 a month. I don't care what the price is. But I agree. I mean, Steve, who knows? I mean, I do agree on your tax thing. It makes it completely unaffordable most times. Yo, what's up, my Ohio friends? Born and raised in Columbus. Out in San Francisco now? Wow. Is that what you mean, San Francisco, Thomas? Holy cow. That's like another world. Like the home prices there, like median's got to be, what, 1.5? Oh, I haven't done Delaware County. You feel like Delaware is the new trendy place where millennials move to. I'm not sure. I'm not a millennial, but there are a lot of people moving there. Let's look at Delaware County. Delaware County, Ohio. What do we got? Let me check all these boxes here. New listings up 8.9%. More homes for sale. No doubt. You know what? Let's do this instead. Let's use the MLS because I'm in the MLS, because I have access to it. What? Let's do county, right? You wanted to do Delaware County. All right, Delaware County. Here we go. Maybe I won't use the MLS. See what you pay. What you get when you pay $1,500 a year for this. Market summary. It doesn't like this for some reason. Well, I guess I'm not going to use it. Boo. Boo to you, MLS. All right, I'll do this instead. New listings. In Delaware, according to Redfin data, up 8.9%. Pending sales. Whoops, let's do active listings first. After that. All right, active listings up 18%. So you do have more active homes to choose from. I wanted to access the MLS though, because I wanted to see what price the homes were. that, are in the market. My guess is in Delaware County, they're expensive. Let's see. Median sale price. $537,000. Basically flat from last year. But yeah, homes are expensive there. Homes sold. Let's look at that. Homes sold up 13%. So somebody's buying these homes. Somebody's buying the homes. Let me go back. I'm going to try the MLS one more time because I'm really curious on what prices these homes are being sold for. Huh. Yeah, I can't do it. Not letting me on the MLS. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's see. We did pricing. We did homes sold. So people are buying homes. Let's look at new listing median price, where homes are being listed for. 542 is the median price. So basically buyers are getting, or sellers are getting what they're asking for, right? Approximately. You know what? Let's do something else here. Let's look at another. I was going to say, let's look at Franklin County. We looked at Columbus, but let's just look at Franklin County as a whole. New listings in Franklin County. It's not just Columbus. Down 7. Wow, I got to check that, make sure it's right. Down 7.8%. I mean, that's just not good. Not good if you're wanting, lower prices, as everybody kind of wanting lower prices. Even sellers probably want lower prices in a weird way because they're like, well, I want to buy a better home or I want to buy a bigger home. I can't. I'm kind of stuck. 22.5% more active listings in Franklin County. Median sale price. What do we got? Oh no. $340,000 in the county. 340. That's an all-time high. No, it's not an all-time high. 344 was the all-time high. But it's dang close to it. Who's counting at that price, right? Who would ever thought, you would see a price like that in Franklin County, Ohio, as the norm, not as like the exception? Goodness gracious. But thanks for checking in, Thomas, from San Francisco. I assume that's where you are. You said SF, so I assume that's San Francisco. Prices going up doesn't mean people are buying. That's true, except overall, what we're seeing, based on what we saw today, people are buying. Like the sales are up. So I would agree, like you can charge anything you want for a property. If nobody buys it, doesn't really mean anything. But if people pay these prices, if the median sale price goes up, that means that's calculated on homes that have sold. So I agree. Prices going up doesn't matter, or prices going up doesn't mean people are buying. But if you see people actually buying, then I guess it does matter, right? But look, I'm not happy to deliver this information to you. This isn't great. I'm just trying to give you the straight scoop instead of, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to tell you everything's going to be okay. And I don't want to tell you that the housing market's, crashing in Ohio. I'm just trying to give you the right info. I've been hanging around. Oh, hanging out at Zuber's channel. Oh, yeah, good channel. I need solutions now. I appreciate the Crash Bros, but it's time to move on. Thanks for the reference, Jason. You're welcome, John. You went and checked out one rental at a time. Man, anybody looking to buy a property, I don't care if it's for yourself, as an investment, whatever, go check out one rental at a time. I have no affiliation with them. I just watch them and recommend them because their strategies have helped me, but I don't make any money on their channel. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't know Mike Zuber. I just know that his material is fantastic. He's a very practical, normal person when it comes to real estate investing. But his strategies can help you buy a home that you want to live in. And he has great data. So thanks, John. Thanks for I'm glad you got some value out of his channel. And he doesn't have a ton of subscribers. I mean, he has a lot, like 60,000, but nothing compared to it's not Reventure Consulting that like 400,000. It's not Real Estate Mindset at 200,000. But he also gives you like real solutions instead of the world's ending, but you just better wait, which is what the other guys do. Trumbull County, let's go. Trumbull County. New listings up 3.8%. So you've got a few more people listing their home. Active listings, 14%. A handful more active listings out there. Last year at this time, you had 373. This year, you've got 433. Right? $373. Is that right? Well, 379 and 433. So 20, 30, what's 50 something? Basically like 50 more homes for sale. But when you only have, 400 homes, at least that's progress. All right, let's look at median. Oh, let's look at homes sold. What do we got here? Homes sold up 6.4% year over year. It's headed down now, though. But you do have more homes, you do have more people buying homes than last year in Trumbull County. What about median sale price? What's up? Oh my gosh. $185,000, up 16% year over year. There's not a lot of transactions, so it's going to go up and down a lot. Nonetheless, though, 86, 185, 186. Not an all-time high, but you're right there, 185, 186, whatever. Doesn't seem like prices are crashing in Trumbull County. At least not yet. Kind of the same story as the other areas, pretty much. Higher prices, more people buying homes, not a lot of listings. Yep. So that was Trumbull County. You're welcome. You're welcome, TH2. So it's not THC, it's TH2. Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate you joining and interacting. Lake County. Are you a tree person? Maybe I already asked that. It seems like maybe you're a tree person. I like trees. I like plants. So, Lake County. Lake County, Ohio, new listings. What do we got? 74 new listings, up 4.9%. A few more, and I guess the trend is, going up, I suppose, until last week. Okay. Active listings, let's look at that. Active listings only up 2.2%. That's not good. It has been steadily rising this year, which I suppose is, you're not seeing a big drop off, but you're dangerously close to going under last year and actually having fewer homes for sale, which is insane. If you really think about it, it's insane, right? You got to think at some point sellers are like, I got to sell, but we're not seeing it. Not seeing it. Homes sold. Down 11%. So definitely, lower number of people selling. Again, people buying. And you don't have that many new listings, though, right? Let me go back to new listings. You just double check it. Yeah, only up 4.9% in new listings. So it doesn't seem like people are really doing much in the housing market there. Like, people aren't selling for the most part, and not a lot of people are buying, at least not lately. Earlier in the year, they were. Maybe because of summer, people are like, I don't want to buy anymore. I'm kind of done. Wait till next year. Maybe that's the case. But let's go back real quick to new listings and just look at the trend overall. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see at this time of the year, it always kind of heads down there, right? It always starts to kind of falter and then go down with new listings. So maybe people were just done with the housing market. Maybe we already saw our peak of listings. That's what I'm seeing nationally, is that we've kind of like, it's almost like we've had the rally of inventory, and now it's heading down. Median sale price, what's this? $250, up 1.8%. So at least you're not up 10%, and that's good news. It's not an all-time high. All-time high was 256. But you started the year at 213. Now 250. And last year you ended at 221. So do prices go down in the winter? Yeah, they usually do. So I guess, there is logic for saying just wait a couple more months. But if you're expecting it to be lower than last winter, it may not be. But will it be lower than the spring? Yeah, probably. I mean, that's how the housing market works. You can see these prices always come up in the spring, and then start to drop in the winter. The best time to buy a house sometimes is like the stretch between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And any realtor you work with should be willing 100% to take you out on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. Like, there's no reason to not, if at least my opinion, if you're trying to help people buy a home or sell a home, you got to work when you have to work. So if you're just like, I want to wait for a deal and I want to hunt for a deal, waiting till the winter is not a bad idea. When everybody else is like, nah, I'm too lazy to go out right now. It's too cold, right? We get one of those days where it's 0 degrees here. That's when you go out and look. Yeah, thanks for asking about Lake County, Ohio. What else we got? Heck, I'd take a 13 to 20% decline. Right. I mean, that would seem like a crash. That would feel, if home prices across Ohio were down 20%, that'd be crazy. There are people, though, on my channel, not this channel really, but the other channel, the Housing Nerd channel, nationally, where people are like, I'm waiting until prices crash 60%. And you're like, man, I don't know if we'll ever see that. I mean, that's a lot. Don't ever buy unless you have kids and need stability. In my opinion, it's pretty much a scam to be buying at these prices. Yeah, I mean, it's all individual, right, Thomas? So if you have a goal in mind on what you want to buy, the price point that makes sense, you have plenty of savings, and you've planned the worst case scenario. Like, can you go work at the Amazon warehouse in Etna or in Pataskala and pay your mortgage? If you can, that helps. Do you have slush funds, and then slush funds backing up those slush funds, and then a box buried in the yard with additional cash in it to back up all the costs that you may incur as a homeowner? Then that helps, right? And if you have a strategy and a goal in mind of, this is my price point, this is what I want to buy, this is the type of home, and then you're diligent about going to find it, it could make sense to buy a home. And if you're patient, you may be able to find a deal, like a discount or something that you can afford. But if you just run out and buy the first thing you see, unless you can just afford it and you're like, no big deal, I'll just pay it, sometimes, that's not the best solution. Yeah, I analyzed Hilliard a few minutes ago. Maybe I'm late to the I probably am late to the party, but yeah, I analyzed it a little while ago on the MLS. The Type Racer video channel. That's kind of cool. Parma. I don't think I can get Parma. I can do Cuyahoga County. Is that where, Parma's in Cuyahoga, right? But I don't think I can do specifically Parma. because I don't have that kind of level of detail. You'd have to talk to a realtor up there. And by the way, if you are interested in buying or selling a home in Ohio and you need help in Central Ohio, I can maybe help you directly. But if you just need a good realtor in another area of the state, I've got a network of people that should be able to help you. So hit me up. My email is in the description, and I can maybe help you find somebody if you're not in Central Ohio and you don't want to use me. Cuyahoga County. Yeah. So let's look at Cuyahoga. We haven't looked at Cuyahoga County yet. We've looked at Franklin, but not Cuyahoga. New listings down 0.2%. Not what you want to see. But again, they always start to drop off this time of year. Look at this. They always start to fall down. When you see this spike, like if this line was going straight up, then you would know, uh-oh, there's a lot of people out there who have to sell. They need to sell, not want to sell. That's where all that distress would come into play. If you're not seeing that, probably not a lot of distress. It really comes down to supply and demand. All right. Active listings. Up 11%. Not that great in the county. Not that great at all. Let's look at homes sold. Homes sold down 4.4%. Yeah, so not a lot of people are buying compared to last year. I mean, down 4.4%. That's a 4-year low for this time of year. So if you had a ton of new listings, let's look back at the new listings. If you had a lot more new listings, like you added 402, look at this. You added 402 and homes sold was 330. That means there were 70 homes out of the new listings that were basically left on the market, is how I like to look at it. So if new listings were like 600, 700, and homes sold, yeah, these new listings at 400 now, if these were 600 or 700 new listings with only 300 homes sold, you would eventually start to build enough inventory that you would see a lot of price decline, like meaningful price decline. But look what you're seeing. Look at Cuyahoga County. I mean, this is what really tells the story. Still just not enough homes for sale, not enough competition for sellers. Up 12%. 12%. $240,000. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, what else we got? Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. Thank you for, taking the time to watch and interact. I mean, you're giving me your time. That's worth a ton. Christopher, how you doing? Bought my home in Cleveland in 2017 for $40K. Now Zillow says it's worth $126. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I mean, is Zillow correct all the time? No, not all the time, but I find their estimates are a lot of times semi-accurate. And like Reventure Consulting uses Zillow data. Lance Lambert at Resi Club Analytics uses Zillow home price data. Few people know that all the information on Reventure Consulting is available for free, but it is. He just has a fun app that he charges for. So all that is Zillow data. So people are like, I don't trust Zillow. I like Nick's data. And you're like, that's the same data, just presented differently. Obviously with a doom spin, right? Yep. Sell now. Prices will crash any day. Are you trying to be funny? I don't know if you are or not. I don't know. I'm trying to find it today, but it's hard to find. Still looking. Delaware isn't bombing. It's just north of Columbus. Doesn't seem like it. You go up there into Delaware County, like there are homes. I mean, yeah, there are stretches of homes that are near $1 million, over $1 million that are selling. It's nuts. Michaela, what's up? Have you noticed more listings now aren't including what it last sold for? I'm seeing many of these newer listings have no selling history at all, yet being 75-plus-year-old homes. Yeah, it could be. If you mean on the MLS or you mean on Zillow, maybe some of the data is not making it to Zillow, possibly, and maybe send me one, Michaela, that you're talking about, and I can take a look at it. But it also could be that the house hadn't sold, right? Like maybe the person bought it, and well, if they bought it 75 years ago, you'd think they would have sold it by now. I don't know. I'd have to look at one and see what you're seeing. I'm not seeing that on my end that much. Maybe on Zillow though you are. I'm not sure. I know from real estate statistician, I can't say that word. The houses are overpriced 49 to 52% according to debt to income ratio, and may even be higher because of rising insurance and material costs. I agree. Like, you have to have the income to buy a home. This argument has been like beat down or beat to death from many of the folks on YouTube. But the one thing I would love to ask, like Melody Wright, Travis at Real Estate Mindset. I don't hear Nick talk about this, but like a lot of those folks don't trust the Federal Reserve data and the Fed data. They think it's all fraud, greed, and corruption. But those same folks will use the FRED data and the national data for debt to income and go, see, look at that. Look at the median household income. It's too low to afford these houses. So I'm like, well, is that data right? Maybe it is, but somebody's buying these homes. I mean, there's a bank that's approving these people. And there's qualified lenders now. So you can't just run out and get a mortgage with no income stated. You have to have proof of income. So somebody's qualifying for these, and we're not seeing a lot of distressed selling right now. So if that's the case, something doesn't add up. I mean, they could be overpriced 49 to 52%. You know, the other thing though is like people in California have been paying 400, 500,000 when in Ohio we're paying 150,000. Now they're paying over $1 million, and they keep buying homes. I think a lot of it is people selling their current home and buying a new one. And when you do that and you've got 200 or 300,000 in equity, you can afford to buy that home maybe. Is that it? Maybe it's just people that are over their head and eventually it'll all come down. But we'll have to just watch the facts. And we can theorize all day long about debt to income ratio and whatever, the boogeyman, the fraud, the devil on your shoulder, the next door neighbor, evil investors, realtors, the Federal Reserve, right? We can bellyache about all those people, but this is the reality of the market. It just is what it is. And so I feel like you just got to, if you want to buy a home, you got to figure out a way to do it that makes sense for you, whatever that way is. And there's nothing wrong with renting. Maybe you don't want to buy a home. That's okay. Some of the easiest days I had in my life were renting. So nothing wrong with renting a home or renting an apartment or whatever and investing your money somewhere else. Nothing wrong with that. I'm never going to tell you as a realtor, you should buy a home now, marry the house, date the rate. Horrible advice. Horrible. It's like the worst thing you could say. Oh, meant to say other areas of the country, not county. Right, on bombing. Yeah, there are areas of the country not doing well. What is MLS inventory price breakdown in Warren County? Let me see if I can access it. Let me see. I don't know if I can. I don't know what's going on with this stuff. Maybe it doesn't like the fact that I'm sharing the data with you. Let me see. Ah, no, it works. I don't know if I'm going to have great data here, though, because that's that's way up north, isn't it? Where is Warren County? Or is that north, south? Let me see. Yeah, that's. Oh, yeah, down by Cincinnati. I'm not sure this data is going to make much sense. Let me see. Number of listings. 7. Yeah, only 7 active listings. So my MLS isn't picking it up. Yeah, I apologize. It's not. I'm going to have to. I can use Redfin, though. But my MLS only picked up 7 active listings. That's not right. It's because there are a few homes that are listed in multiple MLSs. But if you wanted the full scope, you'd have to talk to a realtor down there. And if you need a contact, let me know. Or you can look on Google, obviously, and just call around and talk to some people that maybe be able to help you. I'm sure somebody will. This is work realtors should be doing if they want to earn your business. Ask them for this info. New listings in Warren County. See, I've got 90 new listings. And that's up 20%. And that's Lebanon, right? Like just north of Cincinnati. Active listings in Warren County. Yeah, see 762. My MLS is only showing 7 because I don't get all the data for that area. But you're up 30%. Up a lot in active listings, up some in new listings. What do we got? Homes sold. How are those doing? Up 23% in Warren County. So obviously people put houses on the market. Buyers are like, okay, more houses. Let me go take a look at one and snag a property, obviously. Because you're seeing people actually buy homes. Median sale price, what do we got? Oh my goodness. $461. And homes are expensive there. Why does everybody want to move to Warren County? I mean, is that, because Kings Island's there, right? I was just looking at a map. Is that Mason, right? Isn't Mason there? Mason's expensive, right? $461. And it's not even, it's up 15% year over year. Man. That's nuts. Maybe I'll go check out Warren County on the street. Because that's a I can see why you want the breakdown from the MLS. Because you want to know what homes are selling like this. Goodness gracious. Let's look at something else here real quick. I don't look at all these stats every time. It would take so long. Average sale to list price ratio. Here's what's scary. Look at this. Down. Okay, so right now, buyers are paying 99.4% of the asking price of the final list price, not the initial list price, the final list price. So buyers are getting like a 0.5% discount. The scary part is that's a 4-year low. If you go back to 2022, look at this, 103%. So prices now are unhinged, obviously, but it's a 4-year low for this price to, the average sale to list price ratio. So it's like the biggest discount on average buyers are getting, but the price is still the highest it's ever been. That's nuts. Thank goodness there's not more bidding wars, though there probably are some. Now let's go back to the price and see what happened in 2022. Yeah, look at this. When people were paying 103% of asking for homes, the median sale price was $367. Now it's $100,000 more, basically. And if you rewind time, guaranteed, people were saying at this time right now, or this time in 2022, well, it can't go up any higher. Just wait, prices will come down. Well, what did they do? They kind of went down in the winter like they always do. But then the following year, In 2023, they started to go up again, and that story continued year after year, and this year it's not stopping. It's I mean, you don't have a crystal ball, so you don't know if that's going to happen. And I get the fact that you're like, how can prices go up anymore when you're at 369 and people are paying 103,000 103% of asking price? How can it go up anymore? Well, it can. And it is. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I got to go over there to Warren County. Man. Thanks for suggesting that. That's a rough area, man. I see why you want the breakdown. I'd love to see that. If you get it, share it with us. Get it from a local realtor. There's got to be realtors that are, new, and they're like, "Hey, I need a client," and so you call them up and ask them for that data. They should be able to provide it pretty easily. Morrow County. All right, let's check out Morrow County. What's up, Chet? Man, that Warren County was rough. But I don't want to look at that yet. New listings in Morrow County. Well, there aren't that many. Only 10. You're up 31%, but the number is up and down, up and down, up and down. Let me try this instead. This is a little easier. So now I'm looking at 12 weeks instead of 4 weeks. So you go back 12 weeks and look at what happened versus going back 4 weeks. It kind of smooths it out a little bit, maybe. But there's not that many new listings. There's just not. Where's Morrow County? Let me just get my bearings. I lose track of this sometimes. Just north of Marion. I should have this in the MLS, I think. Let me just use the MLS real quick. See what I can find. Because it's pretty close to Columbus. I think I have this, Morrow County. Probably give us a better picture. So the absorption rate, we didn't look at this in Hilliard, but the absorption rate here is 3.31% versus last year, 2.2%. This means that basically, if you didn't add any more listings in Morrow County, it would take 3.3 months to sell through the inventory. Median sale price, $323,000. Last year in June, it was $296,000. That's up 9% for the median sale price. Days on market, homes, the median days on market is 12. Last year it was 8. I always look at average days on market. I think that's a better gauge because you're not just taking a number in the middle. It actually averages out how long it takes homes to sell. That's down 24%. It was in June, so people are selling their homes faster. Let's see. Sold listings. Look at this. Down 18% in sold listings overall. And it looks like those were sold, like looks like there were 3 sold over 500 grand, 5 sold between 4 and 5, 6 sold between 3 and 4. Active listings. What are we doing there? Look at this. You're up for the month. You were up 50%. That's a lot in active listings. Now, disclaimer, every data provider is going to track things slightly differently. So like the Columbus MLS, for instance, if a home is contingent, it's still counted as active. If it's in contract and contingent, it's still counted as active. Why they do that, I have no idea. But they technically count that as active inventory, which is weird. But nonetheless, 50% increase. It looks like the inventory is like between 300,000 and 400,000. You had the biggest increase there. Well, you had an 84% increase, but what's that? 11 more homes. New listings. What about those? Up 29% for the month. So you are adding more inventory. And some of the inventory is lower price. Like, look at this. New listings between 160 and 179, up 150%. And your median price was 323. So these are priced way under the median. Question is where, what kind of condition are they in, right? You've got some between 300,000 and 400,000. Okay. So it looks like you are adding a few more homes for sale. It looks like some of the homes that were added were in a lower price range. Just hard to tell if they're homes that you would want, obviously. And there is, the absorption rate is going higher. So the absorption rate at 3% compared to 2% tells me that it's more of it's still a seller's market, but it's leaning more towards a balanced market. Balanced market's like 4, anything under 4 is basic. I'm sorry, anything between 4 and 5, I consider a balanced market. Between 2 and 4, I consider a seller's market. If you're under 2, that's a strong seller's market. And then anything over 5 is a buyer's market. So you're still in a seller's market, but it's headed towards a balanced market. Maybe that'll help prices, though they were up 21%. Where were they? No, I'm sorry, up 9%. Hopefully that helped. Just had a home on my street sale for $385 60 days ago. Now just closed yesterday for $642. Maybe it was like block of homes or a couple homes at one time they bought, and it's just, or they could have entered it wrong, like on the MLS. They could have, and that'll get corrected if they did. I don't know if they did, but that doesn't make any sense. That's called way overpaying. Oh, you're welcome, chat. All right, guys. Well, it was great hanging out with you. It's been an hour and 32 minutes. I got to do some real work now. I'm just kidding. This is really fun. I enjoy it. Enjoy hanging out with the Ohio housing nerds. And I'm starting to enjoy this channel more than my normal channel. Just because, I feel at home in Ohio. I feel like it can be more real with y'all. So thank you for the support. Like, subscribe, share the channel, share this video if you think, somebody else would get some value out of interacting here. And I will have a housing property tax video coming out here in the next few days. And I'll try to do another live here in the next few days as well, just on the market in general, some things I'm seeing. And I appreciate your time. I sincerely do. I keep saying that, but I really do. You guys are fantastic. And that's the reason I keep coming back. So I will see you next time on the Ohio Housing Nerd. I'm out.